The only way to get at this problem for the short, small, or the small, short man in the culture and society is negative thinking. You've heard of positive thinking, but we need negative thinking. Negative thinking that's responsible, that questions itself, that interrogates itself. We have an anomaly here. This is a very difficult subject matter. It's very hard to market because what we're saying is not agreeable viscerally to anybody to hear. But we do the short, small man or the small, short man a tremendous disservice if we deliberately, in order to be popular, in order to be liked, in order to promote and sell what we're talking about, strategies for the short, small man, a grave injustice, and we do a grave injustice to our subject matter. Now, I am the small, short man. I'm 5'3", I have a big belly, I'm ridiculous to look at visually, I have no presence and no personality. We begin right there. We need to comprehend the situation of the small, short man. We need to look at it with extreme objectivity, and we need to make what's subjective, what's sentimental, what's rhapsody, what's soap opera about all this. We need to eliminate that and get to the root of the problem as quickly as possible. Nobody wants to deal with the issues of the short, small man, and I don't blame them. Because again, it's a very unpopular sell, very hard to promote it and market it. It's encouraging if you learn how to think negative. That's why, to get to the positive, in our subject matter, you need to think negative. You need to think against yourself. If the short, small man does not want to be recognized, if he has pride, foolish pride, if he can't see what's outside and what's inside, if he is a victim by belief system of what he's been told, hero figures, escapes, fantasies, vicarious pretense. But we know, paradoxically, the short, small man has to live his life for a large part vicarious pretense participation. Height is a very important factor here. It must never be lost sight of. It's not a question of tactful avoidance. That's the worst thing you can do in this situation. If the emperor has no clothes, we've got to say there's no clothes on there and say it in as direct and effective a way as possible, which we do in the strategies for the short, small man. I stand behind every single word I say. I'm responsible for it. Anybody can question me. Anybody can interrogate me or come at me in any way they want. If they want to call me names, you come at me that way. You want to mock and ridicule and so you come at me that way. None of it scares me off. I'll deal with anything. The way the man wants to come at me, if he wants to disrespect me, if he wants to ridicule and mock me, if he wants to talk down to me, if he wants to talk into me, and if he wants to propose his morality and ethics and judgments of me, predicated on some absolute guaranteed by some higher power, and he can't even tell me what that is when I question him. What's he worth? What's what he has to say worth? That's what I say. But in addition to that, strategies with a short, small man, in my opinion, is a major contribution to our knowledge, to our investigation, but more importantly than that, to our tolerance, the questions we ask, and the way we, very simply, it instructs us, it teaches us how to be a decent man of tolerance and critical thinking. I said the word critical thinking. Asking the right questions, not being intimidated by anything or anybody. Strategies for the small, short man is so vital a contribution, so important, that the content of what we're talking about is its own self-justification, is its own truth, with a small t, of course, because it's always subject. Whenever I say something, I'll never say anything that you cannot question me, interrogate, come up with an argument and your evidence, and we'll discuss it if you're reasonable. And if you want to come at me with an insulting, sarcastic way, you want to shout into me, you want to talk down to me, you want to embarrass me, have at it. Have at it. I'll listen to you. I'll paraphrase what you're going to say, and then I'll tell you, now it's my turn. Now it's my turn. Now I'm going to talk, and now it's your turn to listen, and I will talk. And I will have something to say, because I know with the strategies of a short, small man, I'm standing on very, very solid ground that I'm completely confident of.